Hey y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, recruiting in yoga pants. So this week we're going to touch on resume templates. Do you need one? What's the best one? And what if I don't like it? Well, friends, you're in the right place if you don't like resume templates, because neither do I. And if you love resume templates, just hear me out, because I think we'll find some common ground later in the video. Okay. So resume templates, where did this come from? I mean, they've been around at least as long as Word has been around, because I remember being in Office 95, writing a resume using the Word Microsoft template, right? It was very simple. So obviously resumes have evolved. They've changed a lot. We're now embedding links, and some people have QR codes, or some people think video resumes are a good idea. That's a topic for another time. Maybe we'll tackle that in the coming weeks. But basically, while format and style and expectations have certainly changed a little, the foundational purpose of a resume has not changed. And that is, the resume's job is to get you invited to an interview. That's it. So how do we do that? We know that the purpose of the resume, again, get you invited to the interview, and that usually comes down in a big way to showing that you're qualified for the job that you're interested in. Okay, so whether you've applied, whether you've been referred, whether you marched in with a box of donuts, whatever, that document is intended to show enough information about you as a potential employee, your skills and abilities and superpowers through accomplishments, that says, oh yeah, we want to talk to this person and learn more. That's it. So for me, and maybe this is just my old school Gen X mentality, I don't know, simple is good. I don't want colors and pictures and fancy this and extra that. Like, I just want to be able to read it and answer the question, does this person possess the skills and experience needed to perform the job? Yes, awesome. Let me get them on the phone and learn more. That's it. So we spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to perfect this document, which really should be very simple and very clean. This is where I'm going with this whole template idea, okay? The dark side of using a template is you run the risk, this may not be true for everyone, but it would definitely be true for me. You run the risk of putting yourself in a template-shaped box, and that's when it falls apart for me. Because I will immediately start worrying about, oh no, well that went on to another page, and oh no, that didn't fit there, and oh shoot, I hit the wrong thing and messed up the tab or the bullets or whatever. Like, trying to fit it into an already predefined template stresses me out. I can't do it. It may just be a flaw in my brain that does not permit me to navigate this. I can't do it. And I know that about myself. So anytime a family member or friend has asked me to help them build a resume, and they'll be like, I started this with this template, I immediately scratch it, don't send it to me. We're starting with a blank piece of paper. Sit down and tell me about everything you've done. And so that brings me to the first step in my resume creating process, which is very simply, write. I have definitely covered this before. I'm having deja vu because I know I have written this out in a previous video. So if you check out the resume playlist, I will link to that above. You can kind of go poke through and read up or watch some of the previous videos that may be helpful. But I am always going to start by writing out all the details, the accomplishments, the work history, the employers, the dates, all of those things. I'm just going to write it all out in a Word doc or whatever kind of doc you want to use. Why do I do that? Again, data dump. This is a data collection exercise. I just want to make sure I'm throwing all the things in there, and I actually force myself to ignore misspelled words, to ignore font size or font choice, to ignore formatting, run-on sentences, grammatical errors. I just start dumping. what have I done, where have I done it, and when did I do it? That's all I want, okay? Write. Once I have data dumped everything I can remember or everything I think might be important, I'm going to move on to the second step in my process. And now, I bet you can guess what's next, especially if you've been around a while, you've seen this video. Next, I'm going to start editing. This is when I'm going to go back and start fixing all those red squiggly lines, right? I'm going to make sure I spelled things right. I'm going to check for those run-on sentences. I'm going to start adding, maybe some of those bullet points in there. Maybe. I'm not to the third step yet, so hold your horses, okay? But I am going to just kind of make sure that the readability is good. That I've kind of said the things I needed to say. I'm not overstating anything. I've got numbers, facts, figures in there, all those things that we talked about as being very important, the measurable accomplishments. This is where the editing stage comes in. I can go back and kind of make sure what I've written is telling the story that I wanted to tell. So this is all about context here. Don't worry about what it looks like. Worry about getting the context correct. See, when we're starting with a template, we're already locked into what it looks like. And that doesn't work for me. My brain is not wired that way. I cannot do it, okay? So clarity, content, that's what I'm going for here. Now we're gonna make it pretty. Now, and this is where I hope to regain any of the trust I've lost with the template crowd. Now maybe I'm ready for a template. Okay, now I'm not necessarily going to plug my stuff into a template. I may look at a template and like the way that is structured and then structure mine similarly. I like that simple bullet point. I'm going to use it on mine. I like that use of white space or margins. I'll make sure mine is adjusted to look the same. Whatever. So formatting, go wild. Do whatever you like here. But again, don't lose the focus on readability. Okay? Do you know who's reading your resume? A recruiter. And hopefully a hiring manager. Maybe a friend you trust, maybe someone who's referring you, a human. This is important, okay? You can check out the keyword content bullshit in other videos, so go look at the playlist. Formatting. This is, again, just making sure it looks good, okay? So you can start with a template if you like. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, because I do get that some people just their minds work that way and they need that structure or even just prefer that structure, and that's okay. I'm just simply trying to give you an alternative point of view and make sure that if you are one of those people like me that struggles with the box, that you don't feel like you have to start there. And I want you to give yourself permission to do it backwards if that's what works for you. Okay, so write, edit, format, and the two biggest rules in resume writing. Number one, content is everything. So making sure that, yes, I am speaking to the needs of this job description. Yes, I am using the right indicators as far as keywords, accomplishments, technologies I'm familiar with, whatever it is, measurable stuff, all of that stuff. The content is there that says, yes, I absolutely can be successful in this role. And secondly, readability. If I had a nickel for every fancy ass template that had unnecessary graphics and columns and oh gosh, the bubbles, you fill in the bubbles like I'm a 4 out of 5 in Java or whatever. Oh my God, that is the most meaningless stuff. I'd rather see that you were an Eagle Scout. At least I know what that means. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being an Eagle Scout. You can put that on your resume if you like, I don't mind. But you see what I'm saying? So like the readability and making sure that it is clean and neat and clear, and I don't have to blow it up, 200% to be able to read it, like a decent font size, clean font, white space. That's what I care about. Okay, so if you do want a template, there are some great ones out there, okay? Maybe some folks will drop their favorites down in the comments. I totally would love that. I think it'd be really helpful. I don't have any favorites. I don't use templates, as you know, so I'm no help to you there. But hopefully some of our friends will weigh in with things that they have found very helpful. So, all right, so this is your permission, y'all. If you are not a template person like me, you don't have to be. Write, edit, format, that's your best friend. But keep in mind, context, readability, that should be your focus. All right, y'all, I hope that helps. Let's keep the conversation going down below. Let me know what you think. If you have a template you love, please share with the class. And we will see you next week.